Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In the previous two episodes, I shared a little bit about what I did after graduation, the challenges I faced while my journey to Google. In this particular video, with all the love you have showered in the previous videos, I decided to make this a little bit more about you than me. And hence, today I chose to speak about resume building tips and tricks. Remember, the first 10 comments on this video stand a chance to get their resumes reviewed by me for free. And yes, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so to get more such exciting opportunities that I will be sharing on this channel. Now, without wasting much time, let's get started and come to the actual topic why we all are here today. So, today I'm going to share a little bit more about what makes a great resume. I'm going to share some resume formats. What do bad resumes look like? Not good resumes, but bad resumes. And in the next episode of this particular video series, I'll be helping you define your skill sets in your resumes that recruiters are looking for in the industry, and also going to share some resume sections. All right, let's get started. Why do you need a good resume? Of course, you need a good resume because your resume is your key to unlock your opportunity to stand a chance to interview with the company you're aspiring to work with. And hence, you really need to explain yourself very quickly to the recruiter on why you are a good candidate and why they should be hiring you for the particular job role, or at least give you an opportunity to interview with the company. And most importantly, if you're not aware, 75% of the candidates get rejected at their resume stage itself, which means while you're applying, you get instantly rejected because your resume was not a good fit as per the recruiter. And they don't have a lot of time to screen hundreds and thousands of applications they receive per job role, and they would spend no more than 6 to 8 seconds per resume. And before a resume actually comes to a recruiter, they are screened by ATS, a software that would shortlist applications based on certain keywords. But on the contrary, if a recruiter sees that a lot of buzzwords are used in the resume, they may think that it's a big mistake and they may instantly reject your application. So, the point here is you need to balance both the sides. And there is a common saying that, perfect resumes don't exist and nobody had a perfect resume ever. And I firmly agree to them. Definitely, I cannot share that, hey, this is the exact way you need to draft your resume. But I'm going to share what are a few tips and tricks that can help you highlight yourself with the recruiter who's trying to screen your application. Again, coming back to the question, what makes a great resume? Firstly, let's try to understand how do recruiters actually read your resume. So, the reason I added this as the very first thing is you need to understand that you are explaining yourself to the recruiter in one page. They are not going to call you and ask more about you before they are actually pleased about you. Don't have any other information about you, and that single piece of paper decides your potential chances to work with the company. And when the recruiter receives your resume, they look at your application in F pattern. That is mostly how humans read. They start from the very left side, then they go towards the right, then they go a little bit down, and then they parse a little bit towards the right side, and then they go towards the bottom if the first 4 points are of excitement to them. And here is where you need to post the most crucial information about yourself that you need to convey to the recruiter in general. There are 8 commandments to keep. Most importantly, customize your application as per the job role. Read what the job role is looking for in the candidate, and maybe ask these AI tools to actually craft a sample resume for you, showing on what an ideal candidate would look like if they were aspiring for this particular job role. Most of the applications I see, even of experienced professionals, are not targeted or customized to the particular job role, and hence they face rejections by the company. You need to be very distinctive amongst many other folks who are trying to aspire and apply for the same job role. And you need to have consistent format, you need to be precise, and you need to be very clear in what you're communicating about yourself, which is not a story. It has to be quantified, and it has to be more about the actions and achievements you have had previously. Hygiene and formatting. So, if you have less than 10 years of work experience, it's recommended to have one page resume, keeping your font size between 10 to 12 inches, having consistent margin and spacing across lines. Identify your key accomplishments, bucket those on a separate paper, look at the particular job role that you're aspiring for, and only pull up those particular skill sets that the company is asking for in the respective job role. Focus on transferable skills, which means that if you were given a chance to work with the company, how would you apply your previous skill sets for the given job role, and quantify your achievements from the past. Now, let's talk more about the bad resume formats. So, this is a random resume that I have created with some examples of resumes I have reviewed in the past and what mistakes folks make commonly. Adding your picture in the resume is a big no no. You're not actually applying for any job role that needs you to be visually appealing. Rather, if you're applying for a job role which is focused on your skill sets, like your technical skill sets or your communication skill sets, you have to be speaking more about those in your one pager. Now, if you take a pause at this video and try to identify what are the mistakes at the pointed arrows of this particular resume, you may find a few, but let me tell you some more of them which you may not have identified while you were screening this application. Address and contact information is missing. How does the recruiter reach out to this candidate if they wanted to talk to this candidate more and take them in the next phase of their application journey? What position did the candidate work for? They haven't mentioned who they are. For example, I would add, I am Raju Rastogi and I'm a software developer, and then 1234, and maybe I would skip my address unless it's really crucial for you to share where you're placed. Then the next mistake I see here is avoid short forms. Like, for example, your college name would be PCCOE, but the full form is Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering. Add those precisely. If you've worked with startups in the past, hyperlink your startup's website so that in case the recruiter is interested, they can hover over and read more about your company. And when you are speaking about your job responsibilities, focus on what was the objective of the project you were working on. Were there any public links that you could share on what you contributed for that job role? Focus on actually what you're trying to apply for. For example, you may have worked with a company which had 1 lakh users for a mobile app that you developed. As a recruiter, I don't care if your application was used by 10,000 or 1 lakh users. I want to know, as a developer, how did you bring an impact? And that can be explained with some examples, like I would start with, I worked with XYZ company as an application developer or whatever your job title was. And then I would add that I added 7 features to the mobile application, which helped in connecting with the users, pulling their databases from the back end. I connected the front end of the application to APIs that would help fetch the information about the candidate. So I would focus more on the technical implementations or the tech part of my work experience rather than promoting the application you worked on. As a recruiter, that's not as important, as I would like to know what kind of skill sets or qualities the candidate has. Add your recent achievements only. You may be a scholar in 10th grade, but as a recruiter, I really don't care if I'm trying to hire you for a software developer position. And add your true skill sets. Remember, if you are hyping a lot more than you are actually capable of, your recruiters have reviewed hundreds and thousands of applications already, and they would know easily someone is exaggerating or they are being realistic in their resumes. Another example, which is not a good example of what a resume should look like, the candidate has added colors, and a lot of my attention goes towards the colors. So I look at, you look great, I look at those yellow buttons on my screen. Rather than, as a recruiter, I want them to focus on my projects, my work experience, which actually directly maps to the job description and shows that, hey, this is why the candidate is a good fit for the company. One more bad example: one fourth of the page is gone with skills, education, which could have been towards the end of the resume, and at the top, there could have been more about the experience the candidate had, and I would avoid so many white spaces in my resume. More and more bad examples that I have, but I think I should stop being brutal and speak more about what you should be doing. Chronology sequence. So when you start with your resume, start with your name, your current title, your contact information, and then you would be speaking about your professional experience. Start chronologically with your most recent experience at the top and then scrolling towards your most oldest experience. That way recruiter can actually see how and what you've done in the most recent job experience that can be transferred to the new job that you're aspiring for. As a fresher, you may not have work experience to add, but you definitely have mini projects and your final year projects that you have worked on, which you can equally talk about and promote yourself for job roles which are looking to hire for freshers. So in these cases, remember, you're speaking more about your projects, the impact you had as a developer, and then what makes you industry ready, that they would prefer or bet on hiring a fresher versus someone, say, who has 6 months of experience or 1 year of experience. About your skill based resumes, so if you're adding skill based, I work with XYZ companies, this skill sets I've acquired by doing XYZ projects, that's another way you can represent yourself. But I would strongly recommend add more about your recent company or project you've worked on, the contributions you've made, so it's very easy to read about the candidate's professional journey for the recruiter than, like, looking at multiple boxes, what they worked with company A, what they did in project B, and then they are juggling between the sections. This is a sample resume. It's up to you if you want to take this, but I know there are more great examples on the internet which you can choose if you would like. Now, coming to defining your skill sets, I have a lot more information that I can share here, but in interest of time, I'm going to take a pause here. So remember, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so by clicking on the bell icon. I may throw up more such exciting opportunities for you to get some career guidance from me directly. Remember, the first 10 video comments receive a chance to get their resumes reviewed by me on a complimentary basis. So make sure you're commenting on the video below ASAP. I'll see you in the next week. Until then, take care. Bye bye.